All right, well, okay, not such a serious question, but you know, you're gonna have to set it up for us because Jess upset about this. Sour Patch Kids have changed their recipe.
It was alarming. I'm not even joking. I was at the gas station and I just filled up my car with gas.
Okay.
And
Walk us through it.
Yeah. I walked in and I saw the bag of Sour Patch Kids and I was like, you know what? Yeah. So I picked it up and I put it on the counter, and the first thing the woman at the counter says to me, she's like, "Oh, do you know they changed their flavor?" And no word of it, I shrieked in the gas station. I was like, "What?" Like so loud, and I like threw myself back. But she's like, "Yeah, I think they took away orange and they added a blue raspberry." And so I was really thrown off. But I'm gonna have to do a little more investigating because there were orange in there, but they added blue raspberry. I'm not sure what happened. I was just
Maybe that shipment was old.
He just ate them. I was just like, I was eating my feelings, and then I don't know what happened after that.
But yeah, and she was really upset too. Like, we really bonded over this, and we talked about Sour Patch Kids for like 3 minutes.
What is there to talk about Sour Patch Kids?
No, she's at a gas station shrieking. I don't think it really matters.
But then it poses the question, right? Like, Sour Patch Kids are, I don't know, there's a lot of, for me, I just grew up with those 4 flavors, and then this blue raspberry really threw a wrench in the mix, and it just
Did it taste good?
Blue raspberry killed my parents, and then
yeah. But it poses the question, like, you know, when something changes like that, it's a big deal. Well, maybe not for everybody, but
It can be. Being one of the elder statesmen in this little circle here, I don't know if you recall when the Blue Smartie came out.
Oh,
I was just gonna say,
It was
it messed me up too.
It was enormous when that happened, and it was a whole marketing
you could order
campaign
the shades.
directed around that, because of course it was always, do you eat the red ones last? That was always the campaign, and then all of a sudden blue came in, and it was huge. And was met with a certain amount of mixed reaction.
No, it was
one of my favorite commercials of all time. And it's so silly, but it's the Shreddies commercial when they're all on the conveyor belt, and then something gets switched, and they're all squares, and then all of a sudden it gets switched, and they're all diamonds, and they're like. They're like now in diamond shape. I'm like, that's amazing. But I was also upset about the Blue Smartie thing.
You were upset?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember being
embraced it.
upset about that.
Are you racist for Smartie colors?
It's the blue. It's the blue, the one that's
Soft
introduced
aesthetic.
that. Just, it's a...
Makes me feel sad.
Yeah.
Why is like blue just not like an appetizing color?
No, it is. I think blue's a good flavor.
It always changes your mouth.
Yeah, that's true. The blue dye. Yeah.
The question is,
That is so good
what
for you.
flavor
Not.
is blue? And this is the whole thing too with flavors is like
Blueberry.
blue is not maybe, but like colors are not flavors, right? When people are like, "Oh, purple is my favorite," that's not a flavor. That's not the
Pomegranate.
They usually go
pomegranate. What year? It's been great for 1,000 years, and you're like eggplant.
Eggplant.
Remember that eggplant Smartie? It was amazing.
Aubergine. That's what it is. I'm changing it now, and there you go.
But I always bring up the white freezy because this is like the whole. Nobody knows what it is. Like the holy grail. No, it's not. It's like
Coconut.
It's not coconut. I think it's
What
like
is
lime?
7-Up cream soda. That's what people.
Cream soda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's weird.
I don't know. Tracy, have you lost out on things? You dragging your heels on some tastes or some?
No, I like
recipes of the
orange
past?
pop. Orange tastes like orange. I don't know. I don't get the whole being upset over different colors.
This isn't about colors, but
I don't like. I'm lost in this. I don't understand.
It's more so like there's so many things that
That's
change.
ridiculous. I don't understand why you're shrieking. I don't understand why there's this big episode in the gas station. It doesn't make any sense.
But I think it speaks, like you said, it speaks to everything that changes that we don't want to keep up with, right?
Yeah.
Like there's so many people who no longer, for example, Darlene, my mom, does not want to move to digital cable, which you should from Shaw TV, but you should because she doesn't think she needs it. She doesn't want to pay extra for the box. She just likes regular old. We called it Farm Revision because it only got 4 channels. She was fine with that, and now it gets to the point where she has nothing now because that's what you're dragging your heels when things change. There's now no option for those people anymore.
Nothing.
Nothing. No TV for you. She can't even watch this gorgeous mug make a fool of himself.
another one that we were talking about the other day, though, is movie stores.
This one hurts me a lot because
Right?
I loved picking a movie. That
So
one.
Movie Village is still around.
Yeah,
There's
but I
the
mean,
rare-
it's a newer location when it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's not the same as walking into that two-tiered.
Walking around for like 2 hours picking a movie that'll take
Checking
as
out
long
the
to watch as it
section,
did.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
See
it's
which
great.
number Air Bud is out now and what sport he's playing. Those, I need to know that.
Rushing there to get that new release, and then when you don't, when it's like all sold out, and you're like, oh, what do I do now?
Can I put
You
it
like wander around the store, trying to figure out option number 2.
And the best part is they tell you when it comes back, and then you like write that into your week. You're like, I didn't get to see Joe versus the Volcano this day, so I'll come back 2 days later. That was a new release.
Is that a movie?
'87 with Tom Hanks. Yeah, I'm old. But
You know, hang around the depository box. You know, when people would put their
No,
movies in.
nobody
and
says
grab it.
depository.
the deposit box.
Depository box.
But
Yeah.
I wonder if what Jess went through is a bit of a microcosm of where we're maybe headed in terms of we've become so accustomed now to rampant change that's thrust upon us. Are we going to start maybe taking a step back and maybe embracing a little more of a, I don't know, a little more of a stable flow, as it were, as it just comes to our lives? This could pertain to technology or any number of things.
I think it's just the opposite. I think that's the whole point. I'm like, why add blue to Sour Patch? It's perfectly fine on its own, right?
Right.
But we're gonna change things just for the sake of changing it. It seems at this
Well,
point.
it's like I think of that line from Jurassic Park where he's like, they're so impressed and excited that they could. They really forgot to stop and think about if they should. And I think sometimes when you do change things, you leave, you leave all those people behind who liked it the old way, which I think it's probably a very risky move. I mean, maybe not for Sour Patch Kids because mostly that affects 8-year-olds, but when you're talking about bigger things, that is a risk in it. I'm sure in a marketing company, if you're going to be like, we're now going to market, years and years ago there was, I think it was sometime in the 60s, there was a car that was marketed specifically for women, and it was the first one that was ever marketed for women. That must have been terrifying for that company to do it. But they realized, now maybe they'll be able to pull more people in because now husbands and wives can go together and pick a car they want, and the woman, do you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, it's like having... No, you don't think so? You don't think that's...
You've confused me totally.
I'm not with you.
Yeah, I'm not with you. Cars, Sour Patch Kids.
Like all I can think about is
see the
cameraman
connection.
Darren talking about the grocery room in the back of his truck that the guy's trying to sell them the truck on, and then his wife got crazy and kicked him in the shins and left.
Yeah.
I think that's how the story went.
But you see what I mean? Is I think I can see when you talk about marketing companies, it is a big risk to change it, and it's like why? Sometimes why do you need to? Because if it's working, Sour Patch Kids, we've had them for a million years. They're still great. I don't know where
Blame
the patch
it on
is.
the guys.
Yeah.
Because who's the head of marketing companies? Men. Really?
Yeah, so pretty much is
Let me just paint this with a really wide brush. Let me just right here. It's a roller.
I blame you.
All men are awful.
No.
Shot TV.
Well, when it comes down to it, I mean, really, it's just all about change and pushing the envelope, I guess, which is why you have a bobsled team coming from one of the warmest countries in the world. We're going to talk a little bit about Jamaica has a bobsled team after the break.
Wasn't there a movie about that too?
Yep, that was a movie.
Cool running.